Back with more Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, Pittsburgh CW. Bob Pompeani, Gene Collier. We're joined right now by Pete at Squirrel Hill. Hey, Pete.
Gentlemen, how are you tonight?
Good, thank you.
Well, I'm curious about something, touching upon the subject matter of fighting in the NHL. There was a time, Bob, in that league, the original six, if you didn't stand up for yourself, you weren't in that league. I've heard now how many times over the past how many years about you have to protect your stars. I don't know if you're familiar with the 2007 special edition of Hockey News Magazine, the 100 greatest players in NHL history. Number 2, Bobby Orr, pound for pound, one of the 5 toughest guys in the history of the game. Number 3, Gordie Howe, the toughest guys in the history of the game. Well, I don't guys stand up for themselves anymore.
Well, Gordie Howe stood up for himself. Thus, we have the Gordie Howe hat trick, which is a goal, an assist, and a fight. So I just don't think fighting is necessary. This game has evolved into a speed game, skating first. And yes, you know, if you can play like Tom Wilson can play and you can still fight, I guess that's an added bonus, and it's still allowable. But, Gene, I don't see guys who are just, you know, Bob Battleship Kellys of the world, the Semenkos from Edmonton, all those guys. There's no role for those guys. They can't play. Ryan Reeves can play, which is why I didn't like trading him, because I think the guy could be a very productive fourth-line guy and give you some of that toughness that they want.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't object to that trade, but you're right. I mean, you know, these guys, you know, Bobby Orr, Gordie Howe, you're talking really almost back to original six stuff. You know, when there's 6 professional hockey teams, you know, in North America, that's a long way from, you know, all the great hockey players in all the countries across Europe and everywhere else. I mean, people are skating rings around players like that now. It's an entirely different game. I mean, not being able to stand up for yourself, you know, I don't think that should hold you back. If you can skate and score, pass the puck, you know, I think that's enough.
Let's go out to Ed in Brackenridge. Hello, Ed. How are you tonight?
Okay, Bob. How you guys doing?
All right. What's on your mind?
Hey, 2 things. The first thing I was calling about was, what do you guys think on the thing with James Harrison? My belief is that the Rooney's and the Steelers should not welcome him back to the stadium, and he should never get into the Steeler.
Well, he was there for their last anniversary, and he was welcome.
I know that.
Which I don't understand, quite frankly. My only conclusion, thanks for the call, Ed, Gene, is that he's someone who's missing the attention. He's now irrelevant, and for him to be relevant, you got to go on social media and make yourself relevant.
Yeah, he's had a hard time with retirement. He came out of the first one, and in the second one, he can't stop talking. I mean, he never really wanted to talk when he was in the locker room. He was not very helpful that way, and he's not been very helpful since when he does talk.
Well, I mean, I don't like this whole idea when he was on the First Take program originally telling Le'Veon Bell come back and then fake an injury. I mean, I don't like that whole concept of people doing that. Maybe that occurs, but to advise someone to do it just because, to get your money, okay, fine. It's not what I would be advising. Corey Welsh on Twitter says, hey, guys, thoughts of Wilson Frame. Is he better when is Pitt better when he's in the game or when he's out of the game? Well, my answer is if he's making shots, he's better in the game because he's proven he can, but he's been cold. I think he went 0 for 10 the other day against North Carolina.
The way Capel uses him is as a player that he definitely wants to rely on. Sometimes he's in the game for long stretches, though, and nothing good happens. So we'll have to see how that plays out.
All right, back to the lines we go. It's Marilyn in Munhall. What's up, Marilyn?
Hi, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Hey, Marilyn?
I just want to know that since Bell will not be the franchise player next year, who do you project would be the franchise player?
What do you mean? You mean someone designated as a franchise? You don't have to do that, by the way, Marilyn. But if they chose to do somebody like that, who would it be, Gene?
Oh, I have no idea.
Who's coming up on a contract who they may not be able to sign? See, I don't think they have many of those guys left. They signed Hayward long-term. They signed Tuitt long-term.
Ramon?
Yeah, but I wouldn't franchise Ramon, would you?
No.
He's older.
I can't think of anybody.
Really good player, nice person and everything, but I don't know if I'd do that.
It's not, I mean, it's 99%, but it's not 100% that they wouldn't franchise Bell.
Yeah, interesting. Ron in Duquesne. What's up, Ron? How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I have a quick question for Gene.
Okay.
Gene, in my opinion, I feel that as long as Mike Tomlin is the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, I don't think that nothing will change. These guys, they're playing for money, and they're not playing for championships. It's never been that way, Gene. What's your opinion?
Well, no, my opinion is it's always been that way. I mean, pro football is all about a money game. It's all about free agency and contracts. And, you know, when the Steelers tell you that they're playing for each other and they're playing for the city, you know, that's what they have to say. Every NFL player is in it to make money and to stay healthy to make more money. That's what that game's all about.
I agree. Goldie on Twitter says to us, McCarthy's now sitting out a year from coaching. Do you think he's keeping himself available for a near job in the future with the Steelers? Well, first of all, he didn't want to be out. He wanted the Jets job. He made it very clear. He didn't get that job, apparently. He didn't make himself available for other jobs. Gene, that might have been a mistake if you really.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with sitting out a year and getting paid $6.6 million
there's that.
to do nothing.
Yeah, there's that. And, you know, the original reports out of Green Bay were held that McCarthy wanted to not coach in 2019. I think he got interested in the Jets job late, and he was only interested in that job. But I think, you know, in 2020, I think he'll be a candidate for some job.
Nothing wrong with sitting out. Ask Dan Bilesman. He's done it a couple of times and got paid full price for it. I think any one of us would like that opportunity, right, G?
No.
No. We'll be back with more right after
Love
this
it
on
too
Pittsburgh
much,
CW.